Alright, so you're probably wondering what we're doing. Well, we're putting some gas in this here generator, and we're going to get down to business. Because apparently, when I have my earbuds in this, it didn't record any of my audio, so I'm going to have to do a voiceover of this video. But you're wondering, well, what are we doing? Well, I'm going to show you a strategy of being also naked and a Timmy. I call it Naked Ratting 101. So, in order for this challenge to work, we can't use any of the kit that I have, as I'm going to show you. Whether it's the stuff in my trade room right there. You know, that's some pretty decent stuff. Well, that armor's pretty decent. You probably wonder, well, you probably should sell those guns, bro. But, you know, what can you do, right? So, I can't use any of the stuff that I have. Although, I kind of break this rule later on. But, you'll see why. In order for this to work, we have to use our knowledge of the island of Tabor. We have to use the stuff we know where players are going to be at any and all given times. And let me tell you, this raid, I actually pulled out something amazing, and I actually almost died. And you'll see all in this. So, without further ado, in order for this challenge to work, we can't use any of our guns, can't use any of our armor, can't use anything in our hideout that would give us the edge over everybody else. And trust me, I have stuff that would give me the edge. So without further ado, we go over our rules, we go over the stuff we gotta do. So we can't use any of our stuff that we have in hideout currently, we can't use any of the armor that I actually have, we can't use anything. Because we're going in rat and naked. I call this Naked Ratting 101. Is it actually profitable? Yes. Can it actually net you big wins? If you have the knowledge, it can. We also have the commentary from my birds as well. Actually, I may cut some of this actually out, possibly. I don't know. So, unless y'all want to see these long-form videos, I actually had to cut out some of it. But without further ado, let's head on in. Check my missions. Already redeemed that. And I'm also trying to level up Spectre, too. Because that can actually... Once we get to the big money raids, I can actually get big money guns that can clap and separate butt cheeks. So, as I, pick out, I do all the easier quests because, there's no sense in trying to, although eventually I want to do the one where you have to take on the players with a fucking Makarov and bolt actions. I generally hate bolt actions. I mean, I haven't really played around with the higher tier ones, but the ones I mostly come across are just kind of like, meh. Alright, so we're going to go on to the island. Hopefully, this works. And let me tell you, later in the video, it actually kind of pays off big. Not in money-wise, but in something that can actually help us out. Both monetary-wise and also otherwise as well. So let's hop on in. As we wait for the raid to load, I go over the plan mentally in my head on how to approach this. Because with all the new spawns they added to Island, the raid could go many, 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 many different ways. But as you'll see later in the video, that actually kind of pays off. So we're loading in, we're getting ready to go put in this work. So, I'm going to wait for this BS to load. Should have grabbed more coffee, god damn it. Alright, so we loaded in. It's time to get to work, and I spawned near Lab Resort, whatever you want to call it. I just call it Resort Labs. And I do apologize, my video, for some weird reason, on this raid is very stuttery. So I'll just kind of go with that as you will. And we're already getting shot at by a scav, but we wait for him to jiggle peek the corner. I run up and snap his neck. Boom. You grab his gun. Makarov. The Makarov, let me tell you, that gun has actually saved my life more than once against the AI scavs in this game. My rule of thumb is if you have a sidearm, honestly, unless you're rocking AP rounds for that, save it for the scavs. Especially if it's suppressed. Because you'll make short work of them. So we're rolling up. Hopefully we can actually get some good loot. Because we're show you a little a little area. If you're naked, you spawn near here, get up there to the loot room as quick as you can, because you can find anything, not limited to semi-decent guns, to the almighty, highly coveted purple key card. And I don't recommend running in like this, because you'll become face-to-face with a player who probably has a 5C that will just one-tap you. Because you don't have any armor. So I check one known area for a purple key card, not there. I check there to see if there's a backpack or an armor. Of course, you know, Tabor's being Tabor with me. So we'll run up these stairs. You know, I'm ready, you know, to get into a firefight. Because I know there's somebody already there. Because there are spawns that actually you can get in there within a couple of seconds. So I jiggle peek. I get ready to jiggle peek the corner and see if there's an AI. And I already get shot at by an AI. I have no health on me, so I go to check these cabinets. Bam, I pull out a pretty decent gun, and this gun actually came in clutch. You're about to see some play styles that you're not going to agree with, but this is how to gun make short work of that douchebag right there. You're about to see a play style that is probably not highly smiled upon, it's highly frowned upon, but if you broke or got me a helmet, boom. Kind of wonder if I'm still wearing the helmet. I gotta check in my next video. Anyways, so we check the containers, and I also grabbed this here crap-ass machine gun. Assault rifle, to me, I think is a machine gun. Although I think you could put the drum mag on there. That's 5.56. So I throw that guy off to that side. Because if you hear it, I'm going to shut up. There's actually a guy, or a squeaker comes in here, and he's like, I hope nobody doesn't kill me. So I already have my first target. So I sit and I wait. I get my trap set. I actually do this a lot, even when I'm kitted, because, you know, unarmored player kills are the best because you get to see what they got. Because you never know. People coming from radio or otherwise could have a key card. Because you never know what they can have. So I get ready. I get active. And I sit in my little rat corner. I check over and make sure everything's ready, locked, and loaded. I also have, I think that's the MP9 or MP7. You can let me know down below. I honestly don't know. And this is where I kind of wish they added melee to the game where you can literally just rifle butt somebody. That'd be kind of fun. Although, and you can hear, I hear my first victim. And this is one of the things, when you're ratting, always listen out for people that have their mics on. Because you can kind of pinpoint where they're at. So I'll shut up and you can listen.
Oh no, you don't want to die, you don't want to die, please nobody kill me, since I have a fan. I just don't want to die, please don't kill me.
So, as you heard, you know, the first victim. I thought that was another magazine for that gun, but it was a CX8 Storm. I pull out a 9 milli, good old 1911, throw that in my holster, and I get ready to get active because I hear this kid, and honestly, I heard him I think he said he had one heal on him. I also grab an LB vest. Let me tell you, those LB vests come in handy. But if somebody's rocking AP rounds, especially if it's any high tier rifle round, you're done. And of course, I don't have a backpack, and yeah. So I checked there, and I know this kid's still somewhere in this building, so I'm going to find him, and I'm like, oh, I can't put this on this gun, so I toss it, although, in retrospect, I could put it on that one. Or on that weird assault rifle. You know, it's weird, I never see people use that assault rifle that I have, but whatever. So I get active, I'm hunting this kid down. You know, I'm checking corners, because these kids, they like to trap you, like, oh, I have this on me, I have that on me, and usually it's usually 1 to 2, or there's another guy with him that has like area covered, and they trap you and they try to get your goodies. So I roll on down to go find this kid because I hear him somewhere. Like I dead ass hear him, so I'm hunting him down. Blah blah blah. Because I am aware because I know he's somewhere, but I'm gonna go check a place really quick that usually could spawn the stuff that I require for this, i.e. backpacks. But haven't had any good luck. So we roll on down to this little secret area. I don't want to call it a secret, but it's more of a seldomly overlooked area. So I go to get active, check this, found another LB in the bra strap. Let's see what I find in here. Nothing. And also, I keep hearing footsteps everywhere, and I know there's also still scabs in this building. A bra strap, and I think there's like a knife pouch in this one. Yep. So I'm like, fuck. So I gotta get active. I gotta find where this dude is, because he probably has a backpack. I kind of need one. So I get ready to go going heavy. So I make sure that's locked, loaded, and ready to roll. So I'm active. I'm looking for this guy at this point. Like, I want what he has. I need what he has. I don't care. So I roll up. I get out of that little seldom overlooked loot area. Look for this guy. So I'm going back up. Because the weird thing with this game is you can kind of pinpoint where people are. So I go to check this area. And I go in here. Check to make sure there's like a gun there, because usually they'll scat, like the dead scab, like a Tarkov will drop a gun. So I'm like, you know what? I'm hearing movement. I'm like, I pull out the good gun and I'm gonna go hide. And I think either that kid got clapped or something else. So I go to hide behind the door. I'm ready to rock. You know, I don't want to face this guy head on because he actually had an AKM. And those guns, if in the right hands with that round, because that's the same round the SKSs use, whether it's OP, full auto, or the base SKS, yeah. So I hear this guy coming, and I kind of wonder if it's that kid. So boom, lit his ass right up without even breaking a sweat. So I wait, because I know I hear footsteps, and I know someone else got shot, and I'm like, screw this gun, I found the one I want. And just in typical Taborian fashion, I'm like, get the fuck down here. I pull out a nice armor rig, and I throw that LB aside. Boom. This guy also had, he came in kind of kitted, though, I'm not going to lie. I check all the mags, make sure there are 3 ticks. Boom. He even had what I wanted, but he didn't have actually what I needed. But he had a backpack nonetheless. Which will come into play later when I go check other rooms. So I grab that. Ooh. I throw that helmet aside, grab that other helmet. I think I actually am still wearing that helmet. I don't know. Although that helmet's going to come into play in another video if I still actually have it. Because I actually have a set of quad nods I pulled out. So I put his little pistol in the bag, blah, blah, blah. Pick up my gun. And I get ready to get to work to see if they clear out anyone else that's down here. And this is where the raid gets a little weird. It's either this one or the next one. Things just get strange. I check everything. I check raid time. I mean, we're still in it, so I know there's either people come through here or they're already either at, prison or radio tower, which will... Radio tower come into play later. But that would be our next raid, I think, is radio tower. I'm going to say I spawn at radio tower and I find 2 things and I get active and just getting the fuck out of there. I didn't want to stay and fuck around and find out. So, I get ready to get on out of here. I try to fit this gun in here, and I keep forgetting that I can only fit pistols in there. I don't know why I keep forgetting this. Little tip, the adventure backpacks, you can't fit guns like that in there. Pistols, yes. Anything else, no. Keep an eye out for gear techs and Ragnar, I think they're called. The big The big Tarkov-inspired bag. So I'm sitting here. I'm hearing footsteps, I think. I'm trying to figure out what my next play is. Because there's still areas I want to check to find stuff. You know, I kind of left a nice little area there for someone to come in if they're naked. You know, they get a little crap helmet and an LB police vest. Or an LB vest, whatever you want to call them. I'm checking my food and my water because I do have water, but I don't have food. And I'll actually get into that later on towards the end of the video. Try to turn this down a little bit. There we go. So I'm trying to figure out what my next play is because players could be anywhere. There could be a guy that's hanging out behind that door when you go out. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta make a play here. So I'm like, well, I got this gun, and I'm pretty sure whoever's in here could probably, a few shots, they're done. So I'm just like, fuck, I don't know what to do. Although that's like completely different from the original audio captured, but the mic didn't pick it up, which is weird because my earbuds have a built-in microphone, but whatever. So I'm trying to figure out what the fuck am I doing. Whether I just go charge out there all guns blazing, because I have nothing to lose in this run. Because, you know, I found everything by ill-gotten means. So it's like, I die, I lose out on really nothing. Because I can just load right back in, full health, full everything, and just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I never did find that kid, though. I hope nobody kills me, but I think he got wrecked. So, I'm trying to figure out, I'm having a fucking personal crisis here, whether I just go out and charge them, or charge anyone that's out there. You know, I'm like, well, at least I'm semi-decent, so I can at least take a shot or two before I die, but judging from my health, and yes, I gotta still actually turn off that compass. I just keep forgetting to do it, but it's kind of the least of my problems, because I keep it on for a tactical reason. Little side note here. And I'm kind of, and in this, I'm actually saying I got all this from, you know, doing this, but, oh, excuse me. I found some AP powder, which will come into play in another raid that I'm actually going to be doing. So I go to check all these drawers, because people sometimes check these drawers, sometimes they don't. We always want to check them, because you can pull out anything. And I think it's where I actually find... One of these drawers, I actually find a... Is either this one or another raid? Yep, I found a silencer for my AK, so automatically I'm one up. And I kind of hate the silencer mechanic and what have you. Because I'm used to just snapping on it. I gotta screw it on there, so I'm at a disadvantage. I'm at a weakness. But once you hear that click, I'm ready to rock. I get active. I go to hide behind the door. I'm trying to figure out what I should do is go check around and see. Because I usually try to find, like in Tarkov, you know, player bags. Because usually, you know, people, I've seen maybe a couple people rocking gear techs and up. So, I mean, if somebody rocking a sling bag and you kill 3 guys, you know, you're going to take one of their backpacks and then try to figure out the rest of them there. Cram that one full. So I get out, I jiggle peek that corner. I go to check. I'm going to go to an area where I know I can find some decent stuff. Another little cheeky hiding place that I actually use to my advantage in my normal runs when I'm actually rocking some pretty decent stuff. So I find a chocolate bar. I also have that bottle of water, which will come into play later. I go to check stuff. I'm like, oh, well, Because everything's a gamble in this game. You can run into this room and find decent stuff. There's a nice little hiding place right there. You can literally blend into the darkness and get the drop on people if they know this little area. I'm pretty sure I probably have, like, killed a couple of, like, YouTubers. So I find garbage, stuff I have no use for. So I crouch around, I'm gonna go check these boxes, you know. Because you always want to check boxes. Every box you see, check them. Every drawer you see, check them. Because some of these boxes can and will, but not frequently, you'll be able to find a key card. Mostly orange. An orange key card. I find a pistol silencer, I'm like, well, you know, I'll bring that back with me. You never have too many pistol silencers. So I go to check drawers. I'm like, well, there ain't nothing of interest here, so I'm going to hop on up out of here. I go to grab my water, and I go to grab the chocolate bar after I hydrate. toss that aside because I have no use for it. I want to call this. This is more kind of like a. We'll get into that towards the end of the video. So I find a Glock. I'm like, ooh. This is why you check your boxes, folks. You never know what you can and will find. As you know, my bag organization on the fly, especially in like situations where I know someone could pop out of the woodwork at any time, is garbage. But if I take my time, I have filled that bag up to where I can't fit nothing in there. So I check everything. I check my food. My food's getting low. The side note, I'm gonna make the hunger noise, and this is so fucking annoying. It's like, I get it, you're hungry. And I think I kind of saying here, I kind of wish this was like Tarkov, where some of your skills kind of passively upgrade. And I kind of wish they did that. I find a journal, you know. I kind of did say, you know, I'm gonna to show you how to make money, but this is more so how to get gear and money. So, gear, money, depends on what you need, what you want at the time. So, I get ready to head up there. I'm still alert. So I go and I'm like, where's that chocolate bar? Because I kind of need that. And this is where things kind of get a little strange. I find some RAM and a sight. I think it was either RAM or one shot. Yeah, it was RAM. I've had luck with finding one shots here and there, but I've actually also found the boxes of one shot, but they're, you know, practically half gone. So I grabbed this crappy chocolate bar. I don't recommend stuff of that nature. Birds, your commentary is not welcome. Shut up! So I eat the chocolate bar. I smell like booty cheeks in here. So I get active once again, because I'm hearing commotion around me. I think I don't really listen to the audio of the video, but there's always something going on around me. So I'm getting active, seeing if I can find stuff. I'm like, oh, this room's empty. And this is where things get a little strange. I find this. Now, this is a prime example of either somebody died here, and they're using it as a bait trap to kill me. So, I'm kind of creeping because you never know because they heard me running in, so this is one of those things I should have just walked in there with my gun completely ready to rock and roll and bag and tag. I'm like, okay, this is too good to be true because people can hide in the most weirdest places. So I peek out there to make sure there's no one out there chilling. I go to grab the ooh bag. There's a thing of chocolate, some random odds and ends on hunter mag. I'm like, ooh. So, I heard something scurrying. I'm like, oh shit. So I go to hide in the corner in case somebody wants to get the drop on me. So I'm sitting, I'm waiting, I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll and shoot this guy right in the face. Yes, birds, I know. You were part of the raid last night. But your comments are not welcomed. Anyways, I wait because I'm like, well, by now this guy would have been here and I would have been shot, or he would have been shot, or it would have been a even deal. So, I'm hanging out here and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to go grab this shit or ditch it. But I'm like, well, there's not really a decent. It's it's basically a couple of bars. I said, screw this. I'm going to go see what's good. So, and this is where things even get stranger. I go into this, I think it's this room. I check, there's a random sling bag. Now, mind you, see shit like this and it hasn't been raided, I kind of make the mistake. I'm like, ooh, it's full of attachments. Bait bags, because somebody could literally be in that area and they hear you run in there and they can just come in there and clap and separate your butt cheeks and then you're done. I find a 20 round Saga mag, which actually will come into use in another future raid that I'm actually thinking about doing. I check for a key card of any sorts. I'm like, well, shit. So I go to rearrange stuff in my bag. I think I left one site. So I go to shove that in there. And I basically just load up on all these spark plugs garbage, but, I'll toss that off to the side. We don't need that. So I'm like, I have a paranoia when I'm doing stuff like this, loot transfers, because you're at a disadvantage, right? You're at a disadvantage tactically. This is where listening to your surroundings actually comes in handy. This desk is so damn squeaky. So, I kind of get my guard up because I heard some movement. But it turned out to be a scav. I dead ass thought there was somebody literally getting ready to, get the drop on me. Turns out, spoiler alert, it was a scav and I shot him in the face. Because the weird thing is, and I kind of wish they would fix it, the difference between scav's footsteps of them like running, walking, and player footsteps. Because you can never differentiate between the two, so you just gotta be ready for whatever comes through that door. So I literally got scared because I thought there was a player psyching me out so I could come out in the open so he could get my goodies. And of course, I'm at a disadvantage because someone could literally camp you from that hill with a decent gun and a decent setup, basically. Sorry for my squeaky desk. I thought my voice actually carried over to this, so I check everything. I'm like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just like, should I go finish what I'm doing? Because I hear all this outside, so it'll take them a few minutes. So I'm pretty sure if I speed load this shit, speed run this shit, I could be up and out of here, and I could move. Yeah, I could move somewhere. So I kind of jump over here. There's that scope I forgot, but yeah, whoever, they're at a disadvantage because look at their loadout. So I grab the scope, put it in my bag. I'll try to put it in there. You know, I'm kind of panicking at this point a little bit because I'm like, there's somebody out here screwing around, but it was a scav. So I get out there, I get active. I'm about ready to say, screw this. I go down to I think it's technically the first floor. I don't know. I don't know. Technically, I go down to mouse to the back entrance, F0, and I'm waiting for that guy to come around that corner, and I'm ready to rock at this point. Like, I'm ready to rock, because, you know, I'm, like, I literally, for once, I actually walk it out with a decent haul, and sadly, I don't, actually, we'll save that towards the end of the raid. I'm trying to figure out where this guy is, because I'm hearing all, like, these footsteps running around, I'm like, I don't know. I should have had it actually be a, not a spoiler. But, spoiler, it was a scab. I was actually scared. So I kind of hopped down here to get that, like, the corner of that door right there. But, yet again, they could pop out of anywhere. Because there are rats in this game like me. And there's also a rare breed of rat called the Rat Chad. But they're seldom seen. So, I'm active. I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on. There's all this shit going on around me. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm like, I get the feeling I'm like, this may actually not end in my favor. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what to do. But never turn your mic on, because that could give your position away. You always want to have your back to the wall, and you want to be vigilant of everything. Because there's only one way that guy's coming in is through that door, so I'm like, screw it, I'm going to get active. I'm going to roll up out there and just empty this magazine into him. So I come out, I hear the footsteps, and I peek, and it's a freaking scav, bro. Spoiler alert, like I said a few minutes ago, it's a fucking scav. I was scared over a scav. And I see him, I'm like, oh, that was it? It's a fucking scav. I'm just like, well, I could easily get the drop on this guy and light his ass up. You know, I have a silenced AKM. Single shot his ass. So I get ready to put some working on him. Boom. That was weird. Audio didn't line up, but whatever. Dropped his ass. So I'm going in here, I'm going to check and... I was actually going to check if Orange Key Card was open, because that's kind of the best exfil, especially if you're running low on supplies and ammunition. Because you never know who's on this map, because there are people who will stay on this map for a hot minute. I go to check to see if Orange is open, and I believe it is. And of course, you know, Tabor being Tabor, things not working, nothing of interest for me there. So, from what I saw, Orange is open. I go to double check, because you can always tell if Orange is open, well, button from the buzzer, and also if you don't see the door and it looks clear. So I'm like, yes, Orange is open, so I kind of relax a little bit. Smoke grenades. Smoke grenades come in handy, especially if you're extracting out of Orange early, because there are people that hear that thing open. I find some water. I'm like, screw it, I have a nice little tasty, cheeky treat. I think Orange is open. So I know one of these raids, Orange was not open. This is one of those things actually, I'll get into that towards the end of the video. Actually, no, I'm going to save all that stuff for an actual, what I call, Welcome to Tabor trading video. So, Orange is open, so I'm not worried about, you know, hunger and thirst at this point, because I can just hop down these stairs and hop out. You know, health is not looking too good, so I have that in mind at the current moment. For some reason, the frickin' sounds are not lining up, but drop another scav. I go to check in here to see if there's anything delicious in here waiting for me. No, just usual run-of-the-mill garbage. I thought that was an SMG suppressor. I was like, oh, yeah, dude, you know. But come to find out it wasn't. I find some basic ammo. And I kind of go into here. You just don't try. Actually, no, we'll save that for in this video, a quick little training lesson. But you find stuff like that, don't eat it because that will diminish your thirst like crazy. Unless you're getting ready to head to an extract. Like if you're like say within a couple feet of it, then yeah, go for it. But my rule of thumb is stick with canned fruits. Whether it's the fruit cocktail, tangerines, oranges, stuff of that nature. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I know orange is open, but I think I'm making the push towards border anyway, so I said screw it. I don't think orange is open. I don't know. I'll have to go through this video again. So I make the push to border. I'm like, screw it at this point, because I know another little tiny hot spot here and there is the church. I go to check there to see if there's any bags. Because it's always good to find a bag, you know. Extra bags are a great thing, especially if you have no gear. So, you know, I'm feeling good. Feeling kind of cocky. I'm like, oh, you know, I literally just pulled this out my ass, basically. And at some point soon, I want to do night raids at the Church of Fish, but, you know, I don't nearly have the gear to do that. I don't actually, no, I have that one armor vest in my trading room, but, you know, I kind of save things to do my big raids, and we may end up doing a big raid, but we'll talk about that later on in this video. So I check boxes. For some reason, people don't go to the church anymore unless it's at night. So I go to check here, bra strap. Let's see, I go here and I find a bunch of random stuff. And it was like, meh. I'm like, well, it's a Glock mag. And of course, the hunger kicks in. I shove that Glock mag in the deepest recesses of the bag. Well, it's 2 Glock mags. I forgot. So I shove those in there. I'm like, well, it's time to get before this guy starts taking fucking damage. This is where I kind of go on this little spiel of, like, fucking cats. Anyways, I kind of go on this little spiel of, like, this game should have, like, progressive skills when you're in raid. Of, like, oh, your hunger goes up a little bit. Your thirst goes up a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I honestly, between you and me, I fucking hate the hunger noise. It's so goddamn annoying. It will give your position away, especially if you're ratting it out in this game. So I'm like, damn, I literally just pulled this off. Because usually my luck of doing these runs is I die. But with careful planning and knowledge, you literally can... AK mag, I need to grab that. So I hop in the exfil. I go over here to, you know, kind of give myself some cover. And boom. We pulled that out of our ass. It's pretty cool. I mean, if you can actually put in the, like, I'm going to say put in time, but put in the effort of being aware of your surroundings every second. And also listening to the audio cues when they actually want to cooperate. So I go into my safe house, and I'm like, wow, damn, I kind of actually pulled this off. So I go to my armory, I go to put up my gun, I go put up my AK. And you kind of can see I actually have some pretty decent stuff. You see the 2 5Cs, drum mag, M4, Scar down there, cold chilling. And this is where I'm like, oh, I want to bring this in with a 20 round, you know, at least for some basic protection. But, alas, you know, staying true to the run, even though I kind of break some of the rules, was more so just for, so I don't die in 5 seconds. So, I'm like, what am I going to do? So, I pick up my Glock, because, you know, typical Tabor fashion. Things want to not cooperate. So I go over to, where I'm like, where's my storage room? I go to my storage room, and we pull out our loot haul. I don't know why I did that, but, you know. This is where things get weird. The few times we are in my hideout when I'm talking to you, I swear to God, I hear a cat in this all the time. So we pull out a Glock, this, you know, pretty bitchin' submachine gun, another pistol, boom. I mean, yeah, I'm like, you could have sold that, bro. I'm like, well, if you're trying to get gear up and trying just to find the basic necessities like, you know, AP powder, which I found here and there. So I go to put this journal down because I'm actually selling that, but like, if you are down on guns, attachments, general needs like water, food, this is the best way to do it. Yes, it's frowned upon, but I mean, it kind of speaks for itself if you actually pay attention to your surroundings and pay attention to everything. So we have all these sites. And I also have this mag too, make sure it's full for some reason. You always want to make sure things are full. I also pull out a couple AK mags. Another gun. Oh, tired. I stack those up. I also have 2 Glock mags. So this is kind of like you're trying to get basic necessities to work up to getting the good stuff. Whether it's making money, whether that's, trying to get gear up to go on bigger and better raids. Because let's face it. And that's where I figured I was on an SMG suppressor. And I'm like, shit. Well, I keep it anyways because it's a suppressor for something. I think SMG suppressors are a little longer than that. I think that's I don't know. I'll have to look. I think I still have it. I don't think I sold it. So we go to the trade room. I leave my AP powder there because I actually do have to make AP rounds. Because I'm actually going to try to level up and upgrade my bunker to actually have more armory space. So that way I can actually split up naked / 0 to hero, I guess you'd say, raids and regular ones, I guess you would say. So I hop out of there. I go to, do whatever. I go to the armory to go hang up this bag. And I'm just like, I wish I could use all these guns because I would have the competition. And right here, you kind of see my 2 5Cs cold chilling. My M4 with the drum. I even got an Tommy gun. Well, Tommy gun's kind of good for early raid, but... And even my AK Alpha with a fucking drum on it. You're probably wondering, why did you just bring those in and just start clapping and separating butt cheeks? Well, that kind of defeats the purpose. I also have my energy drink. I put that up there. Yeah, I should put that stuff in my kitchen, I know. Even a grenade, I put that up there. Of course, it doesn't want to cooperate, and I'm just like, whatever. I'm like, I'll just leave that there. And I'm like, no, the second thought, that's just going to drive me nuts, so I kind of just throw that up there. Doesn't want to cooperate, and I made it cooperate. So the only things of value I sold was a journal and the junk ram. I also took off my armor to go do this again. Well, when I wanted to cooperate, bam. I think I still had my helmet on. I don't know. I didn't really check for my helmet, to be honest with you. I'm like, I kind of want to bring this in, but I'm like, nah. I didn't really want to. I don't think I even brought that in, to be honest with you. No, I don't. No, I didn't. So I go to put that away. Of course, Tabor logic being Tabor logic. So I'm like, well, the only thing I have to sell is this RAM. Ideally, you want to sell everything you come across, but if, like I said, if you're trying to build up at least attachments and guns that can take those attachments, do it. Or at least do every raid of, like, attachment run, money run, gun run, or combine them. Especially if you can find a gear tech or a Ragnar, I think is what it's called. I keep calling it Ragnarok, but it's Ragnar. So that's all that for what it's worth. As you kind of see my balance, I'm broke. But you're like, well, you have all these guns. Here's the thing, is that a lot of the guns I truly use are actually in my armory. But this run, I kind of, like, ooh, NRS. I kind of break the rule. Oh, it's a used one, so I'm like, I'm like, oh, I think you can sell that for a couple of dollars. Couple of Tabor dollars, so I sold that. And of course, you see my one-shot box. 1 of 2, but they're not full. My quad nods, another AK, golden spoon. This is where I kind of go in on a little tangent. Canned fruit. This stuff right here, bring that into your raid, because it'll solve your hunger or thirst. But this is where I, bring those in. Those are the fruit cocktails, if you can find them. And also, I think there's like canned peaches or some shit. But canned fruits in general, if you find them, eat them, because that solves hunger or thirst. You can stay in the raid longer. And I think I go to the market and kind of actually show you which ones to buy, but I don't think I do that in this one. Although I think in retrospect, from watching this video, I don't think I took off my helmet that I found in raid. So, but honestly, I didn't know, so you really can't hold it against me. Now watching this video, yeah, I didn't take off my helmet. So I'm like, screw it, let's go back in. And this is where I kind of made the mistake. I think this is where we spawned here. I think this is radio, or I spawned next to that. And this is where things get interesting. So I go in the next raid, I'm like, I'm kind of feeling high on myself. I'm like, you know what, I could do it again. Even though I kind of didn't take off my helmet, but I didn't know. So I'm waiting, I'm like, I hope the next raid's going to be decent, but I'm not going to spoil this one. This one, things got real interesting really quick, and I'm not even talking from a player standpoint of 1v1ing players. So I'm getting ready to load it. I'm like, well, I hope I get a good spawn and not a dookie spawn. So bam, I spawn next into Radio Town. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, oh, I gotta get active. And I gotta see if there's a graphics card here along with another purple spawn. So I check. I'm like, oh crap. More, one shot, another candy bar, another bar, suppressor. So I'm like, fuck, I don't have a backpack. So I'm rolling around. Boom! Graphics card. And I'm like, shit. And I already know there's people on their way up here. Whether it's a single guy, a trio, a duo, it doesn't matter. I'm active. I'm trying to find a backpack. But watch, a little further in, things get even more better. And I get to where at this point, I need to survive and get this shit out of here. So I'm checking drawers for a weapon of sorts. Checking, it's just, I'm having a look, I'm like, oh shit. But I didn't know what I was going to find in the next room. It was going to be the game changer for me. Right there on that table, I saw it, and I'm like, that's a purple key card. And I'm like, shit. So I'm like, well, I need to get active. So I go and hide it just in case I die so nobody finds it. I put him right there in my little rat's nest. So I'm like, shit, I need to find a gun. And I know normally there's a scab that spawns around here or up top. So I'm like, I gotta get active. And I hear the footsteps up top, so I'm like, well, hopefully he has like some crap little pistol. Whether it's a Glock, Makarov. Oh, there he is with his SKS. So I start playing peekaboo. I start playing hide and go fuck yourself with this guy. And he's just standing there. So I'm like, hi. I'm like, in game, I'm like saying, I need your gun. I'm start playing hide and go fuck yourself with him. I'm like, I need to get up there. This is one of those like split-second decisions. I'm like, I need to grab this because that's an SKS, right? That channel's the same aim. I'm like, hi, bud. I kind of need your gun. I think he kind of knew what my plan was. I'm like, shit. I know there's players up here. I'm telling him like, listen, I need that because I have stuff down there. I need to, safeguard and get out of here. So, I start just basically fucking with him. Trying to get him to draw him closer so I can just like hop up that ladder and break his neck. And then I start going on this tangent of Mickey Mouse's crack house, and I'm like, hey, bitch, I kind of need your gun. So I'm like, shit, I don't know what to do. I don't have a gun. He has an SKS. He could easily just end this whole run for me. So I'm just like, split-second decision. I'm like, I'm going to go up there and just fucking charge his ass, break his neck. I'm like, whoa. Goddamn cats, bro. So I'm like, whoo. Anything, he shot me. I'm like, screw it. I'm going for it. I grabbed the SKS, as you can plainly see, and I'm just like, shit, that worked out perfectly. So I'm like, I load this up. I'm like, I'm gonna go hide behind that door because I need a backpack. Goddamn cats. So I kind of set the stage a little bit to make sure nobody's been here, or at least they didn't see what they wanted. So, another greasy tactic. If you spawn in on next to Radio Tower and you don't have a backpack, find a gun, hide behind this door, because nobody thinks to look behind this door probably until after this video. So, because I know, like I kind of pointed out, there's people coming from Lighthouse and over near Beach. So I'm like, I know at least someone's going to be bringing in a backpack of some sorts. So I'm going to shut up now, and you're going to watch the events unfold, and I will be back. And I light that poor guy up. And I'm like, ooh, backpack. Yes, I can actually get this graphics card out of here. I even got an LB vest, backpack. Did I keep that bone? So I grab his M16. I'm like, oh, yay. The SKS in decent hands, if it's that one, is actually pretty crazy. So I put my graphics card in there, grab my purple key card, do the little hidey trick. I kind of hide it. Like that, boom, close it. I'm like, at this point, I made the decision of like, I need to get the fuck out of here. And I know for a fact that Docks is the exfil for this side of the map, so I'm like, I'm going to make my way to Docks. Or the Docks exfil. So I'm like, standing between me and that goal is probably people with firepower that could easily clap and separate my butt cheeks. At this point, I'm trying to find food and water. And this is where like I said, I made that decision. I just need to get the fuck out of here and get to an exfil for when they open. So I'm checking some more. I thought that was canned fruit, but it was garbage. I mean, you can do what you want when it comes to food. Me personally, and a lot of other people stick to canned fruits. Because it takes care of both things. So I check the drawers. I'm like, there's nothing of interest. So I'm like, I'm panicking. I'm like, I need to get food and water. And, of course, the hunger kicks in. I'm like, oh, shit. I found water. And, of course, in typical DeBoer logic, it didn't work. So I'm like, shit. So I'm like, you know, will I have enough to get there? Am I going to die? I don't know. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure this out in my head. Like, I'm panicking right now. I literally have two things on me that I've actually been looking for. Actually, this would be my third graphics card this rate. So I find a chocolate bar. I grab that. I eat that. That'll solve the problem temporarily to get the Docks. So I'm like, alright, fuck it. In my mind, I'm like, I need to go. There's no point in trying to fight anybody. I think I killed another scav. So I'm like, I'm going to keep looting and try to find at least something to get me over there. So I'm walking. I'm like, shit. Like, you could feel, like, I don't know if it's just me. Side note, like, when you find something like a graphics card or a key card, you feel like the eyes of the whole map are on you and they're coming for you. Like, for some weird reason, people have this intuition of, like, they show up at the wrong time when you actually find the things you're looking for. So I check. I'm like, oh, it's been picked, hunter, garbage. I'm like, crap. I'm like, at this point, I'm panicking. Like, I'm trying to find something to at least get this guy to exfil. Another LB vest. I'm trying to literally check for stuff at this point. Although that box right there, if you can pause it, there are key cards that do spawn there, but mostly like the orange one. So, but like, I know, like, at this point, I'm at a disadvantage. One, I'm about to start being hungry, and that's going to give my position away. I'm like, more crap. I should have grabbed that pistol, you know, the little pistol ammo module thing, what do you want to call it, pouch thing. I should have grabbed one of those. I should have grabbed that, but at this point, I was trying to fight for survival at this point, because I'm about to either die from my player, scav, hunger, and thirst. I'm like, oh shit, I see a scav. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Because for some weird reason, if you hide in certain places, scavs can't actually shoot you. I don't know why the audio in this game is being so weird. I don't know. Maybe you'll notice it in video. I don't know what's going on. Like, gunshots. And this game, in its heart, is early access. So I'm like, ooh, another SKS. I don't think... Actually, no. Yeah, actually, no. I sold both these guns. So I'm like, screw it. I'm like, because I know some of the spawns I know from Heart, like this side of the map, Lighthouse Beach, you're getting either, I want to say, guaranteed is orange key card all the time. Unless, I mean, it's guaranteed if someone opens it, but that's always a guaranteed one. Whether someone opens it or you find a key card. One of the two. So I'm like, at this point, I'm running. Like, at this point, I'm like, nothing's stopping me. Because I know for a fact, although weirdly, I didn't run into any players, with exception of the one guy I freaking lit up. But at this point, I'm like at this whole mindset of like, oh, well, you know, like I know anything can and will happen. So I pull out something, burst fire. This game is like the whole time I was doing this video, this game was acting weird. Oh, I may actually. So I think I channeled, made sure it was loaded, because you never know, because sometimes I have picked up guns in a rush, go to fire them, and I hear the dreaded click noise, so I'm like, oh fuck, it's empty. So I'll always check magazines, especially if you pick up a gun from either also a player. And then I'm like, oh, I'm like, shit. Because I never knew that was a thing until now, and I'm like, Docks was open. I'm like, well, I'm going to go put in this work, take out the scavs that I know are in this building. Of course, this guy's getting ready to run out of fucking stamina, and I'm like, shit. So I go to peek, and I think actually, no, and this one I just said screw it, and I left. I just kind of took a gamble. Like, I literally took this gamble because sometimes there's a scav up in the second floor. So, I'm literally like, this is too good to be true. Like, at this point, this is too good. Then I exfil. And I'm like, there's no way in hell I just pulled that off. Every time, I swear to God, I picked up a purple key card, I have died minutes after the fact. So this is where I devised a plan of doing a purple run. And we're going to get into all that crap at the end of the video. And of course, I popped a shot off. But for some weird reason, I'm like, well, I pull out an SKS and an M16. I'm like, screw it. Because I don't... The only SKSs I want is the full auto one, Curtex gun, and the OP one. That actually has, like, the attachments. Available things for it to, you know, put attachments. So I saw all this crap. And this is where I will admit to you, I kind of did break the rules a little bit when it comes to the food and whatnot. Because sometimes if you do these runs, if you have a couple cans stored somewhere in your hideout, check your kitchen, because sometimes you usually will have canned fruits in there. So I'm like, I listened to this guy cough. It drove me, it annoyed me, to be honest with you. So I'm like, well, what do I do? I think I went on another raid. So this is where I broke the rules, and I do apologize, but at this point I needed to eat something, because if I went into my next raid, I was going to die. And that's why I keep hearing the cat meow. I swear to God, I'm going to look this up, Tabor cat. I heard it, I thought it was one of my cats at first. There's like a couple of points where I kind of like lifted my headset up to peek to see if there was a cat meowing at me. But in the couple of times we're in the hideout, just listen. You'll hear a cat, so I know, I broke the rules, I'm sorry. I'm getting off subject with the cat. So, I broke the rules, and at that point I was just like, fuck. But there are some times you kind of have to bend, I wouldn't say broke them, but I bent them, because I knew if I went into a raid, I'm like, ooh, graphics card, key card, I'm like, this is where I devised the idea of doing a purple run. But we're going to get into that towards the end of the video, because there's two video ideas. There's actually two videos I'm going to be doing. One of them is a purple one, and one of them is actually kind of a training video. But I'm actually going to do that where my mic on my headset actually picks it up. Or I could just do it like this, but... So I'm literally sitting here, I'm like, yeah, see, this is, if you actually plan things right. Although, graphics cards and key cards are by chance. Like, those, there are static spawns for them, always check them. But I'm like, this is where I devised the idea of, I was going to do a purple run in this video, but I didn't want to push my luck. Because that was just, what I pulled off there was pure luck, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you that right here, right now. That was pure luck. That was just luck, and I didn't want to push it. So I'm like, well, let's go pop my graphics card. I'm like, I'm going to go put this away. I think I'll go put that in my storage. Yeah, we'll go to my storage first. It's so hard doing this when your freaking headset doesn't pick up your fucking audio. But I'm kind of giving you the Cliff Notes version of everything. I'm like, well, you know, purple key card, safe and sound, secured. I'm like, you know, I'm going to do a purple run. But I'm saving that for the next video. I wasn't pushing my luck. So I'm like, well, I have this backpack. I have this graphics card. I'm going to go pop this into my little crypto farm. This is actually I want to say, the third graphics card I've actually pulled out of a raid without dying. So I'm like, well, you need to kind of finish the top rack there, my bud. So I'm pulling in 4.5 Karunas a minute. I'm like, that's not bad. It's passive income. The idea is you want to build up that to where it can pay for your fuel. 54 Gs. I'm a broke boy, right? I don't know what is with the audio in this all of a sudden. But the voiceover, I'm just like, I kind of figure out what should I do. And I think I was actually trying to find that fucking cat. Because I heard it a couple times later on. So I go to hang my backpack up in here. Here's actually armor storage and backpack storage we didn't know. So I'm kind of looking around. As you guys see, I kind of peek on my headset to see if there's a cat. So I'm trying to figure this out. Like, I'm hearing all these, like, the noise of a cat. So I kind of devised the next raid. But basically, this video, actually, we'll get into that at the end. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, I'm kind of just doing my thing, talking, you know, like, this is actually possible, doing the whole, you know, naked rat strategy. Because if you actually can find a capable gun naked that actually can put some damage in and actually murk somebody, do it. Especially, this is more designed for people who are just broke as shit. So, I'm getting ready, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to hop on in. I'm just like, part of me wants to go grab one of my guns and do a purple run, but I didn't want to push my luck. Although, in retrospect, you're going to see in our last and final raid, I probably should have just done it, right? Because you're going to see why. So, I'm already, you know, I've already got food in me, I got water in me, so I'm ready to party. And, of course, I'm talking about the other maps, but Island of Deborah is the one I usually run the most. Silo's another good one if you're just looking for straight up PvP, boss farming, kill farming. You can also find streamer items like the hot sauce, tweaked cheese. Although I actually have a thing of Viper's hot sauce. And I'm just like, I want to bring one of these guns in with me, but I can't. I'm like, oh, I even have, you know, this. I want to bring this in, but I can't. And I kind of go over this little spiel of like, you probably should bring a crap little side. If you pull a crap little sidearm out like a Makarov or a 1911, you know, bring it in as AI defense, but kind of defeats the purpose. Because this shit, I don't know even what to like classify as hardcore rat camper runs or whatever. So, you know, I'm just like, yeah, you want to bring in something for some basic defense. And I put that little piece of shit up there. As you see, I actually have a thing of Viper's hot sauce, and I'm actually trying to find, in my off time, tweaked cheese, or tweaks cheese there. Because you have to have the tweaked cheese. There's no way going around it. There's also, I think, another streamer item, the Ranger Handbook, I think? Or something like that. There's Viper's hot sauce, tweaked cheese, and the Ranger Handbook. And you also saw the little, I think I pulled out another Tiki dude. So, I'm trying to devise the next plan. Like, everything's going too good. And in my time of playing Tabor, when things are going too good, usually your next raid means you're gonna take a turn from there of just having shit luck. So I'm trying to devise a plan here. So I wish my mic actually picked this up, though. So I'm kind of going on this little spiel of, like, this stuff is possible, blah, blah, blah. But we'll get into that towards the end of the video. Although, like a side note, I kind of wish, like, the Quest 2 controllers actually had, like, the finger thing, so I could actually just flick off various things. That'd be kind of awesome. So I remember I had my armor on. Now, mind you, I forgot I even had a helmet. That's probably why I didn't die to that SKS the first time. But, you know, LB vests come in, they come in clutch. Especially if you're trying to get in, get out, you know, I swear by the LB vest, but armor AP rounds against those, you're done. There's no point about it, and I think I kind of mentioned that. Because I don't know what, I remember what I said in this video. Because, like, at this point, I'm running on a good luck high, you know. I mean, yes, I camped, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I want to use my 5Cs. And I also I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. They actually put a drum mag on my 5C. I'm like, bro, you could have just brought that in and did a purple run, you know. I'm like, yeah, I know. But that defeats the purpose of this video. You know, I don't have gear fear. It's just when I actually have a use for a certain gun is when I bring it in. But yeah, I know the 5Cs and the Alphas are like top dog in this. Actually, no, the 50 cal. Fuck that gun. Although I actually want to pull out a 50 cal and sell it, but whatever. So I put it up there, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why I'm just basically narrating this video to the best of my abilities. I'm sorry. So I'm getting ready to gear up. I don't know why I pulled that out. Oh yeah, I go to the market and I give you a little kind of a training tip. If you have a little extra money, I go to Jiri and I forget he doesn't have what well, he has the canned peaches that I buy. So we're in the market. Oh, actually, I'll just shut up now. Actually, a little side note here. Sorry if my volume spiked you. A little side note, I checked my level so I can actually, because my idea, like I said, is I actually want to have the extra bunker space to do kind of the hybrid, you know, 0 to hero, hardcore shit, and also for extra storage, because, you know, you always need extra storage. So I'm like, you can stay away from this stuff. Sorry about that, I was coughing my lungs out. God. Fucking cats, man. So I show you the tangerines. I'm like, yeah, stick to these. So I didn't buy any. It kind of broke, and I would solely break the rules of this whole run that we're doing. Oh, I'm not distracted. My calendar is being dumb. So I go over this little deal. If you want to honestly in run, or unless you haven't unlocked your bunker, NRSs. Don't buy them. Find them in raid. Whether it's via other players or the various spawns, like in the med cabinets, they do have a chance to spawn. There is a static spawn that I'll actually show you in the next raid. But basically, you know, you don't want to spend 46,000 things because you can craft them in your hideout. And I know at some point I'm actually going, when I actually get the funds, because I'm actually like, we'll save that off at the end of the video, the little summary that I'm going to do. So, I go over to, you know, one thing I never see used is the hospital in this, because I know that lady actually has my fruit cocktail, so I'm going to go over there and show you. Because honestly, you want to find the big cans of fruit, because that, if you can at least get 2 cans of that, in, like if you're in raid or if you have them, bring them. Because you literally could stay in raid longer. Stay in raid longer. I can English, I assure you. But yes, that right there, you want to get those. Find those or get them, it's up to you. And I also kind of reminded myself that level 5 I can get the one-shot energies. I actually have 2 of those. But peach cans and those. Always keep an eye out for the 3 fruit cans. You want the bigger ones because you can stay in raid longer with them. The little tip from me to you, if you're just starting this, a little tip, you know, just eat it. I tried to see if there was a glitch where I could just eat it for free and, you know. So I go over to Shiro. I kind of make a mess of things, but also in raid, keep an eye out. I wish you could map it to where your right hand was the actual pause for the game. So we hop back into the hideout to get ready. I also, because also if you do these runs where you don't have like any NRSs or way to heal, the bunker will kind of passively heal you slowly. So I kind of did that to get a little break because I kind of wanted to take a little break. So we're going to hop into our next raid. And this is where things kind of got a little intriguing. This is where I swear to God I heard that cat again. I made a mental note. I'm actually going to look into it. See? Poor cat. I literally had to take I lift up my headset to see if there was a cat like in my room meowing. So I go to check it here to see if there was a cat. I'm like, should I bring in, or should I find cat food? Or something? Because all my times playing this, I've never heard it. If not, I've never really paid attention. I'm like trying to figure out where this cat is, unless it's just some like passive, or not passive, like some environmental thing in the bunker. If someone can let me know down below about the Tabor cat, that'd be great. So I get my shit straight, and I'm getting ready to hop in for another raid. And this is where I kind of wish I kind of threw my rules aside and did a purple vault run. Because you'll see why. I'm not going to spoil it, but I should have actually done a purple run. Naked. Naked to purple, but that kind of defeats the purpose, so I have to find the card in-game and actually do it. So, I'm just like, I don't know whether I should do it or not, but I kind of figured I'd say that for another video. Because I'm already sitting at here at 1 hour and 3 minutes doing this voiceover because my headset didn't pick it up, which I don't mind. But I'm trying to also piece together what I'm actually saying before I do this shit, because I'm kind of winging it at this point. Got that little thing away. So I'm kind of just figuring out what the fuck am I going to do, you know, whether to do another raid or not, or just kind of do a little training thing. But I am going to do a training, like actually do the PvE version of training and kind of show you guys the lay of the land, so to speak, for all the new guys, so you can get a better idea, so you don't die as much. Because this game does kind of have a learning curve to it, and you actually have to learn it. So that video will come out soon, but we'll save all that for the after raid summary of everything. Which I actually may cut out that chunk of the video, honestly, just to save time. So I'll save the after raid summary after this raid, and then yeah. So we're getting ready to load in. I'm kind of hoping we could get another good haul again, at least a couple more guns. I'm giddy at this point. I'm ready to rock and roll. And if you're doing rat runs, naked runs, don't feel ashamed about using the passive healing in your bunker. It comes in, especially, you know, So we get ready to get some work, put some work in. And this is where I kind of wish I did a purple run. Like, got fully rocked and rolled, geared out, ready to, bag and tag. But, that's for another video. So I'm waiting to load in. I'm kind of figuring out what my plan is. Because I base my plans on where I spawn. And as you see, I spawn at prison. I'm like, shit, this is where I realized I should have done a purple. Why is the audio not lining up to this game, bro? So I'm like, shit. I'm like, I kind of wish I just kind of threw my rules aside, but kind of break the rules of the video that I laid in place. Although I kind of, well, out of necessity, I kind of had to, because, if not, I was going to die in this raid to hunger. And then I would have actually kind of gotten pissed. So I go up here and kind of see if there's a scab, but I kind of point out where another, or, I'm trying to figure out what I'm saying in this. But I know for a fact there's a guy that spawns over there. But usually a lot of people just try to push labs resort, whatever you want to call it. I find this piece of junk and I'm like, what the fuck? I kind of found, I wish I found the actual bolt action that actually has the attachments available. The green one's the AVM or whatever the hell it's called. So I'm like, shit. I put this on me. I'm like, well, it's better than nothing. It could be worse. It could have been a 22. Although, in retrospect, I kind of wish it was just a 22. So I kind of just hopped down the ladder. I'm like, well, I need to get to where I need to get to quick as possible. So I'm running up to the next guard tower. Because I know usually there is a scab that spawns there that could have anything. And I'm just like, well, anything's better than the bolt action. So I'm keeping in mind there could be players in there at any time. So I have that mindset. And I'm like, well, this raid may end up ending pretty quickly. So I'm like, well, screw it. So I check this box, nothing, of course. I don't have that streamer luck. So, hey, Combat Waffle Studios, kind of help your boy out. But no, streamer luck is not a fucking thing. So I go up this tower, and I see this scab. I snap his neck. I take his little, I think it's the Tukarev, or I call it the TT. So I'm like, just to be safe, sorry, I loaded in a fresh mag. It's already chambered, so I'm like, well, I know there's a gun that does spawn here. And I think it's the MAT 49? Yeah, it's the MAT. I'm like, screw this gun. I grab, oh, it's a Ludi. Now, the Ludi is one of those guns that is garbage. But if you're in a pinch and you need to lay down some hot firepower and spread some of that hot-ass democracy on the island of Tabor, I've died to a Ludi a couple of times, and it's kind of like a what the fuck moment to me. It's just like, damn, really? So I go to check some of these things for vests, backpacks. Oh my birds. Oh, found another LB. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, ooh, I found a mat. And I'm like, ooh, nice. And the mat's better than the Ludi, in my opinion. I'm just like, what, I mean, I've murked some people with a mat. It's all down to know your weapon. Know its capabilities, its drawbacks. The Ludi is its own drawback. But the MAT 49, push come to shove, if I had to choose within a second, if I had a guy bearing down on me and if I was hiding, I would choose the MAT 49. Although I may end up doing a run where I just strictly rock the MAT 49. And I kind of wish the MAT 49 you could put a big old drum mag in it. That'd be kind of dope. So I found a bra strap. Those are useless. They're good if you could find actual primary, secondary ammo pouches and what have you, modules or whatever the fuck they call them. So I roll up here and I'm like, well, it'd be kind of cool to find a graphics card, but I don't have a backpack. So I get ready, and this is where I kind of show you a cheeky little hiding spot. Right here. And this is where I kind of go over, like, you can kind of wedge yourself in there, and this is not a glitch. I literally found this in raid one day, because there was a guy that was kind of fiddle fucking around, so I was like, oh, I'm going to get the drop on him. So this is not a glitch, not an exploit. You can literally hide here. And literally, if somebody's coming up those stairs, you can get the drop on them. You also can kind of peek through the little, what views you have. So you kind of get yourself in there. No one can see you unless they kind of peek through that little area right there. So I'm kind of just chilling here. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. But I kind of go over a little story. I actually hid here. I think it was with a Mat 49. I know I don't have any proof of this, but you can take my word at face value or not. There were two semi-geared boys came running in here with a couple gear techs. I literally right there lit one guy up. Kind of wish I recorded it though. And his other guy went over in that corner. I should have grabbed that guy's stuff and just fucking pushed him. But, you know, he got the drop on me. But they were there for that. That is the purple loot room. Purple vault is what it's called. I call it vault. Purple vault. So this is where I kind of wish I actually just came in kitted. Because in retrospect, no one was here. And whoever was here already came and gone. Like, they came and went. And I think there's a spawn closer to this part of prison. I don't know. Because they added in more spawns. I'm just like, shit. So, I'm getting ready to literally murk somebody. Although I think with the addition of Makamies Day and the Collector, I think people are farming those vaults more than the vault on Island. But I think... So this is where I kind of figured out, I'm like, there's nobody coming. But some players are pretty smart. Like, they know people will camp this at times. But if you're a novice player, there are a couple... This is like a little cheeky hiding spot. And of course, you know, I kind of dinked my watch a little bit. Because the only person they can see is if they come in from that entrance down below and they can get the drop on you and you're literally a sitting duck. So I'm sitting here. I'm just waiting for someone to come by with a backpack. Because, you know, they have what I want and what I need and I could get and get this money. Although, this video is kind of more so of like trying to, you know, build up a nice little gear stash to actually do better raids. And I kind of wave at the imaginary person because you can literally hide up in that tower we were just at and literally snipe people from here. So, I'm sitting here. I don't even know what I was saying, to be honest, because I didn't pick up my freaking audio. So, this raid, I want to say it was pretty uneventful for the most part. To be honest with you. Like, it was pretty uneventful, to say the least. So, I'm waiting for someone I'm waiting for one nervous, unlucky soul to come up here so I could just, you know, ruin their day. Because sometimes you have to rat in this game. Don't feel ashamed about it. People are going to call you trash. But here's the thing. The more you rat, the more places you could find to hide that people don't know about. You can get the drop on them. And this is kind of one of those little places. But it only works if somebody comes up those stairs. And you can literally just pop out and light them up. But a little word of caution. Make sure it's just one single person and not a 2 or 3 stack. But always listen to your environment. I kind of show you a little cheeky strategy, especially if somebody's coming. You can kind of put your barrel over there and kind of, you know, inch it out to just do some blind fire. But here's the thing. These guns have collision and will make noise. So work on it. All I gotta say. But honestly, actually I'll save this for the end of the video here. So you can literally kind of crouch down and see if anyone's coming or trying to know if you're there. Because a lot of people, because here in this building on the top floor is a static spawn for a graphics card and the orange key card. So people will come here if they need them. Well, this raid was pretty uneventful, to be honest with you, which kind of made me a little bored. So I'm literally trying to figure out my next plan, because by now the person that spawns over at Mechanic is already here, and I already would have lit their ass up. But somebody was already here. Which I didn't know about at the time. But somebody already came and went. Which I was like, shit. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. You know, I'm just like, whether or not I should just move. Because I kind of pointed out, the one time someone could get you in this spot is where they come into that bottom entrance to go into, like, the kitchen part. And, of course, you know, I had no backpack. I think it's kind of one of those raids where it was just kind of stagnant, and I don't think there was many people. I mean, hey, if you get a server where it's just you and scavs, bro, loot to your heart's content and, you know, fucking rock that shit. If you get a server to yourself, man, I'll tell you, and if you have a key card, fucking just take your time. And of course, you know, gun collision. You don't want to get... Here's the thing. If you're hiding in these cheeky little spots... Of course, I had to disengage sport mode on them at 49. So, if the key to hiding in these cheeky spots is try not to make any noise or have any of the gun collisions happen. Because they'll give you away, and then those people will find you. So, I'm just like, well, exfils are up. At this point, you know, I'm going to go check upstairs, see if there's anything up there. I check in here, because usually you can find meds, and I found a bandage. And I have no backpack, so it's kind of useless to me at that point. So I check up here, no graphics card, no key card. I already figured somebody, and this is where I knew, or I should have gotten here first. There's a little bit of water, 22, blech. But somebody already came and went, and I'm just like, well, that kind of fucked up my plans. But right here's another little spot. People could snipe you from that hill. So be careful if you're doing this, because you're not safe up here. There is, unless you could, like, wedge yourself somewhere where people literally have to come in there and shoot your ass. So, I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. So I go to check for a backpack spawn. There's this little spawn right here, from what I have gathered. You could spawn the Ragnar backpack, but I found another LB. I'm like, well, you know. So I kind of just took this as an L. Like, this raid was pretty awful. I think it's where either Scav shot me or a player shot me. I don't remember. So I pop this open to see if there's anything. Because usually there's a gun that spawns there. But it turned out to be a scav. Yeah, this is what I figured out was a scav. Because player guns, for some weird reason, anything a player has, you're done within a couple of shots. So I kind of glitched the barrel through the wall a little bit. Light as that, try to light him up. And then I just shot him. Right there. And the looty at that point, the one thing I hate with the looty is that, like, that clip is gone within a millisecond. So, if you find that gun, use it on AIs only. So I go to check this box, see if there's anything of worth value. Nope. Agram mag, which comes... I actually do find an Agram later on, but... At this point, this raid's pretty uneventful, you know, nothing's going on. I'm just like, well, shit, I need to go check an actual, you know, guaranteed health spawn if it hasn't been, you know, already taken. So I find nothing there. I check another box. So I'm just like, well, shit. I need to go check the med van to see if there's, you know, a NARD there, NRS, whatever you want to call them, stims. So I go to this door. In retrospect, there's another way to get out, so you're not causing a bunch of noise. I engage sport mode, pop open the door. You know, Mat 49 sport mode engaged. I'm ready to rock. You know, I'm ready to bag and tag, but weirdly, I didn't get anything in this raid. So I was kind of hoping at this point that orange, you know, the orange key card room and resort was open so I could just get on out of here. Because this raid, nothing really happened. I pop it open, SKS mag, candy bar. I think that was a candy bar. If not, it was a 4 compressor gauge. And I found an Agram. I was like, oh, well, shit. And I grabbed that. I'm like, well, it's better than a looty. I've actually died to that weapon a couple of times, the Agram. Like that, if you're good with close quarters, that'd be like strictly close quarters, that gun's fucking nasty. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go check the health spawn. I'm gonna make my way up to resort to see if, you know, the other purple card spawn's been looted. So I'm like, shit, I'm running out in the open, and I kind of go over a little thing where, actually, I'll get to that little spiel in a second. But I kind of point out in that direction, you know. There's the van. But right there is where players can snipe you. If you're running out in the open like this, they have the drop on you, and they can drop you in a couple of hits. You know, if they're rocking a 5C or an Alpha. Which, oh man. This raid is so boring it's making me tired. I want to go back to bed. So I go up to the med van to see if there's an NRS there. Because I kind of need one, just in case, I run into some player resistance up at Resort. So I go to check. I'm like, ooh, freaking finally some health. And I'm like, I can heal myself up. And that's what I did. And I'm like, after this, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go check Resort. I think there's a scab down there. He wasn't aggro, so I'm just like, screw it. I'm going to make a run for it. Kind of pop some shots at him. I don't know why the audio in this is not lining up. I don't know if it's just me in post-edit doing this or not, but yes. So I'm like, I'm just going to go to Resort, see if there's anything there worth value of taking out. I kind of point out up there people could snipe you too, but I don't know, the only people I've noticed that have done sniping are people with 50 cals. Or like actual high-powered rifles, So I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go back. And this is kind of where like I wasn't really paying attention, but in retrospect, or no, whatever players were on here, they either died or they just left. Because if you have orange key card, or if you have the orange key card, you literally can get out of here once that shit opens. So say if you find like a purple or a graphics card, like saying like retrospect, if you find a graphics card or you kill a player with a graphics card here, and they have a purple card, you have an orange one, you can get on and up out of here without with a quickness, and you don't have to deal with nothing. So I go up in here, and I already know there's like scabs, but they're not aggroed at the current moment. So I kind of use that to my advantage. Yep. And this guy's out of breath. Yeah, and this is where I murked the scab. Right here. Dropped his ass. He had a Makarov. Or a TT. I didn't really pay attention. This is where I kind of wish, like, they did the progressives, like, I want to say progressive, but kind of like, passive skills where, like, oh, you run with a bunch of weight on you, your stamina builds up. But I'd imagine if you try to implement, like, passive skills in this game, this is where I thought it was a player. I was like, oh, shit. I have an Agram. I have 2, like, QCB weapons. So I kind of, did a little blind fire to see if it hit. Bam. I think he had an AK or an SKS on him. Of course, I took some damage. I'm like, shit. So I'm like, well, I'll bust out the mat, because that one has a little bit better range. He's still popping shots. So I'm like, I don't know at the time it was a player, but it was a scav, as you've heard. But at the time when I started getting shots popped at me, I thought it was a fucking player. So I'm like, I'm trying to, like, literally get this guy out in the open and try to get his guard down. And I'm like, oh, it's a scav. I try to use this to my advantage. And I dropped his ass. So I'm like, oh, loot room's free. So I already know if there's still players, they probably heard that little gunfight, and they're probably on their way. So I go check this room. I didn't see no key card. I found a Tommy gun. I'm like, ooh, that's better than anything I got on me. Especially if you get a Tommy with a drummy on it. Oh, God. So I got rid of the mat. This guy had he had a Glock on him, so I took his Glock. I got rid of the TT. I don't think that was the guy I shot at. That guy was closer. So I grabbed his Glock. I thought, oh, I had the TT. I'm like, oh, there you go. I have a Glock. I have a Tommy gun. I'm like, oh, word. I'm like, I'm ready to rock now. In case a player comes up here and tries to creep on me, open that up, nothing. I'm like, ooh. So like, energy drink, useless to me. And I'm like, I'm starting to run low on food and water, so I'm like, I'm panicking. Like, the rest is raid until extract. I'm just trying to find, food and water. And I'm like, oh, crap. So I check this right here. Usually this can spawn some pretty decent guns. Energy drink. Whatever that was. Nothing. So I'm like, shit. At this point, I'm at a disadvantage. I'm about to start giving my position away when this guy starts, making hunger noises. So I hop on down to the next floor. They go check that loot area. Let's see. I try to also, jump down. So I'm not taking the stairs in case there's a player fiddle fucking around down there. I check this box, see if there's a backpack. Nothing. I check the desk over here to see if there's a purple key card. Nothing. So I'm like, well, whatever players came, they went. And I also know if you have a key card and if you're a Chad, you go and push that vault. So I found an Agram mag. I'm like, ooh, Agram mag. So I load that up just in case, you know. I mean, if you find a magazine for your gun in raid, just, if you don't have a backpack, just in case you fired up half of it. Of course, I dropped it like an idiot. I found another bolt action, and I was like, ugh. Now, I mean, I want to find one of the higher tier rifles. That'll be dope. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's the AVM or AVW, that one. And the 50. So I checked my raid time. I'm like, I'm panicking at this point. I'm trying to find food. And I think at some point I went and checked perp or orange keycard to see if that was open. So I'm having no luck. I'm like, well, if I had an AK, I would have had, you know, a sight for it. So I'm like, shit. Like, I'm literally about to start starving. My health is, I think, at half. Although I don't know for quest, but I think there's like a way I could put up my, the stats on the thing there for like my hunger, health, weight, stamina, and all that shit. So I'm going to try that in the next video so you can actually see. So I'm checking. I'm looking around for food and water at this point, and I'm like, shit. So I'm like, well, we go check the secret, one of the 2 secret loot rooms. Yes, there is another secret one that's on top of this one. So I hop up on here. There's also a little cheeky hiding place in that little dark room because no one can see you unless you're at night. So I'm like, shit. At this point, I'm panicking. I'm like, great. I'm like, if I have a position, it's given away. I'm like, ooh, another Tommy gun, laser pointer. In retrospect, I should have grabbed that Tommy gun, but I was just like, at this point, I don't care. So I'm like, knife, bullshit, nothing, nothing, nothing. Right? I go check this box, see if there's something in there. SKS. I was like, damn. So I grabbed my Tommy gun, and I'm like, screw this. This is where I kind of made the idea to go see if orange key or the orange door, I just call it the orange door, was open, because I'm about to start taking damage. Or I think actually no, I think I make a break for docks at this point. Because at this point I'm like, you know, I have really nothing to lose. I have a Tommy gun and an Agram. And of course I start taking shots, but I think that was from the scab. This is where I kind of start doing the whole weaving thing, because, you know, I take, like, 1-2 more shots, I'm done. Yeah, he got me once, so I kind of started doing the weave thing. I'm just like, you know, I'm like, you can't hit me. If that was a player, I'm like, your shot's garbage. Because you start kind of moving erratically, they have to try to get their sights on you. So I'm kind of weaving around. And then, so after when I extract out of here is when I'm going to do my post-raid summary, because everything after this video is just redundant. Actually, after-raid summary and the plans afterwards for the next 2 videos. So I'm like, screw it, I'm going to go check upstairs, because usually I have some left to check the candy bar. Lit up both the scabs that were in there. I think it was like 1 scab though. Yeah, both scabs at once. They didn't even get a shot off. My guy's hungry and it's driving me nuts. I find freaking... I thought it was a can of fruit, but it was Dookie. I call it canned Dookie. So I checked the drawers. I checked this box. I don't think I even checked that box. I'm like, nothing. I found another weird assault rifle. Like, you know what? I'll take that out. So, like, at this point... I don't think I brought the Agram out. I don't remember if I brought the Agram out. I will know after watching this video. So I grab a laser for that, and I grab the little, you know, potato grip there thing, whatever you want to call it. So basically, I'm going to try to cut this part of the audio out, because I'm redoing this right as we speak. So, can you rat in this game? Yes, you can. Because I accidentally edited out the part where he said this, so I'm doing this now. I just realized my mistake. So this has gone on longer, but in fact, you can rat in this game. Now, mind you, it is difficult. It is extremely difficult. Especially right now where the raid is at currently with other players. Other players are already outgunning you. They already have guns that will take you out in a couple of shots, if not one. And you also, as you hear, you have to deal with your food, your hunger, so it's like... So basically, when you go in as a rat, keep in mind, other players, food, water. Basically, you gotta try to find a backpack to start your ratting adventure. But, all in all, I can safely say, once you keep all those things in mind, honestly, do a couple naked runs. get the lay of the land. And of course, you know, tiki dudes. Anyways, but hopefully, folks, this answers that question. You can rat. Is it frowned upon? Yes. But when you're desperate, you need money, and you're broke as shit, and you have no gear, this is the only way to do it. So until then, I'll see you all in the next video. So I'll see you all then.